Hi everybody, this is the baseball hype, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Your host, hi, welcome back to the baseball hype, and hopefully you like this video. And hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about 2026, shall we? But before we get into that, I need to thank you for the members coming in. I'd like to get more members in here. There's real major improvements I want to make to this channel, and you need to help me. Hopefully you can help me. Help me pay for some of these things. I'd love to get a new computer. I have this old Acer computer. I got a lot out of it, but I'd like to really up my game. And I think that's kind of been an issue that I've been sort of dealing with for a while. So I've been thinking about wanting to do that. So if you could become a member, it's a great way to fund my ability to improve the videos for you and to be a much better podcaster and all that stuff. But as you know, the Mets signed JuJu SoDo to the largest contract in sports history, to a 15-year, $765 million contract. I saw him the other day working out. He looked like he lost a little of that gut that he had about 3 weeks ago when he signed had that big press conference at Citi Field. That's great to see. It didn't take him long to get rid of it. So he's getting ready to be going down to Port St. Lucie, and that's going to be so exciting to see him play down there. Just to have him wear a Mets uniform, putting that uniform on, and playing catch with Francisco Lindor. That's going to be great to watch, and hopefully we'll get Pete Alonso back, and I think we will get Pete back. I think he's got really no place. He's got nowhere to go. I don't believe for a second that he's going to sign with the Giants or the Giants or the Angels or now the Blue Jays. I don't see no big player is going to go play for go anywhere near Toronto and Canada at this point. But speaking of 2026 already, the big player for next year, as far as I can tell, is going to be Kyle Tucker, the right fielder that had been playing with the Astros all those years, and now he's with the Cubs. His name's the big name, and his name popped up on Friday. This is from SI.com. Got a great headline. Could the Mets make another big splash? Outfield signing next year. After landing JuJu SoDo this offseason, the Mets could add another superstar next winter when Kyle Tucker hits the open market. That's going to be exciting. another. I mean, it is literally like collecting baseballs and collecting baseball cards, quite frankly. The New York Mets made the biggest splash this offseason with the signing of JuJu SoDo to a record-breaking $765 million contract. Now one of the top lineups in the league, the Mets could add another superstar in the outfield next winter. No one in the baseball world should assume the Mets owner, Steve Cohen, will reduce spending. No, he will not. Therefore, it's never too early to speculate on the next big signing for the organization. As Andrew Treninik of NewJersey.com predicted, Mets could add another superstar to the outfield next offseason. The focus would be Kyle Tucker, who the Chicago Cubs acquired in a trade after 7 seasons with the Houston Astros. Quote, as the MLB winter meetings come into focus, the Mets set their sights on Kyle Tucker, offering him $400 million to switch leagues and jump into the heart of the Mets lineup. Trenick wrote, there is speculation as to whether $400 million would be enough to bring Tucker to New York. With Tucker and SoDo manning the corners, Brandon Nimmo will move back to center field. I don't think so. I do not think so for 1 second. I don't think the Mets will do that. The problem is that the Mets aren't keen on having Nimmo in center. Of course, there will be nothing stopping Cohen and President of Baseball Operations Dave Stearns from spending even more money to land center field or acquire one through a trade, but that would displace Nimmo or relegate the outfielder to the DH slot on a full-time basis. Now, my opinion on that is if they were to bring in another outfielder of Tucker's quality, and he's a good player, he's a really good player, and he's a winning player, I would put Brandon as the designated hitter. I think his days of playing every day on the field is starting to wane, and I think that the Mets should, if they do this, I think they should start to put Brandon at DH anyway as we go forward. I think get him off his feet. I mean, you've had plantar fasciitis at 30-something years old. I wouldn't say it's a warning that his feet could be a problem or his legs could be a problem. But you keep an eye on that. Even still, the Mets would be foolish not to put their best foot forward in efforts to lure Tucker to New York. After all, he's been an all-star each of the past 3 years, about the 23 homers in only 78 games in 2024. The biggest question is whether Tucker will want to leave Chicago or if another team swoops in, it gives him a deal in the $500 million range. Well, we'll see. He's a very good player. He's a winning player. He's got a great pedigree in terms of how to win. And that's what we want here. We want players that know how to win with the Mets right now. They have one of the best players in the game. Probably the third best player in the game in JuJu SoDo. Probably the best overall hitter in the game in terms of being able to walk. I mean, that's the one thing we're going to find is that SoDo's going to be walking a lot. He's going to be getting on base a lot. So there are going to be times where he's not going to get hit, but he's going to be on base. And that's why it's very important that the Mets build a very strong middle of this lineup now, because he's going to be on base a lot. He's going to be scoring a lot of runs. He scored a lot of runs last year for the Yankees. He scored 128 runs, which is a lot. And that led the American League in runs scored. So the Mets have to have very strong hitters behind him to drive him in. That's the one thing that the Yankees had with him batting in front of Horseface. I mean, Aaron Judge, was that they had a guy that was always on base. So if he wasn't getting a hit, he was still contributing. And that's what's so great about SoDo. He's not just a guy that gets hits and hits home runs and does all this stuff. He gets on base all the time. What is it, 42% of the time he gets on base? It's a lot. You don't realize it. And he will have the records for most walks with the Mets when he's finished in a career with the Mets, and probably the highest on base percentage as a Met. So he's going to have those numbers. It won't take him long to get there. 3 or 4 years, he will be number one probably forever. But Kyle Tucker, to go back to him, quality player. You bring him in here, you put him in right field, you put SoDo in left field. It's going to be an interesting adventure this year with SoDo in right field, because right field and city field can be a little rough. A lot of nooks and crannies. It can be a little rough. And they're going to have to be very creative about how they position him during the season. But you let me know what you think about this video. And again, please become a member of the channel. I want to really make this channel really, really good in terms of the quality of the video, the quality of the sound. But I need your help. Become a member, or even send me a super thanks or super chat when I do live streams. Very important, and it helps the channel out. Everything I try to do that I get from this channel, 99% of it goes into the channel. It doesn't go anywhere else for the most part, except for this house, But that was part of this whole thing too. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut, and I'll see you later.